I am here once again with Moo here in East Palestine. We caught up with Moo last time we were here. Her interview, a lot of you all really liked it, so we wanted to catch up with her again. She's got a great new look with the blue hair today too. I guess first off, if you want to just fill us in, how have you been feeling since the last time we talked?
Actually, it hasn't gotten worse, but it hasn't gotten any better either. I'm still trying to catch my breath. It's constant headache, constantly tired, just like the rest of us and everything. I actually went to the free clinic that they offered. My temperature was 101. My blood pressure was high. My pulse was high. But they said I was okay to go home because I wasn't wheezing.
Right.
But I have been doing the inhaler still. They got me back on the steroids and everything because it's not getting no better over around here.
And for folks who maybe have missed the last interview, you actually stayed here right after the initial derailment happened. I guess, do you want to just give folks a little bit of like the timeline again of how kind of things happened for you while you were here in town?
Friday after the derailment, they gave us the option to either leave or stay here as long as we stayed off the road. So Sundays, 2 days later, they actually told us, now you got to evacuate. With the body bag. We're going to come back with the body bags and stuff. So in 2 days, we sat here in this contaminated air and our water, not knowing what it was. And I ended up getting acute bronchitis due to chemical fumes. Right.
Fortunately at that point, then they made you leave for the actual evacuation for the controlled burn that.
Yes.
You've all seen some of the footage. We also had that footage from local resident Corey Figley, who actually put his drone up in the air just outside of the boundary, and it can really give you an idea of how big this whole thing was when they set it off. Basically, since that point, you've been living here in town still, right? Have you relocated at all, or have you been in town this whole time?
Actually, they started relocating us again a couple days ago because they ended up covering up the dirt and the contaminated dirt in the water and all that, thinking that they were going to get away with it, and they didn't. So now they're relocating us again while they dig up the tracks, dig up the gravel, and actually clean it the right way, which they should have done since day one.
Right.
They should have just cleaned it up the right way. They should have tested our air, our water, and everything to make sure it was safe for us to come back, not just let us come back and make everyone believe that everything was okay, because it wasn't. And that's the only reason that we're fighting. We're fighting because our health. We're fighting because of our kids and everything. It's not because of the money. A lot of people say, oh, they just want money now. No, it's the money to relocate for our families to be safe and our health. And that's what people got it twisted somehow.
Right. No, and we're seeing that too. People are like, oh, these people are trying to go to hotels and it's like a little vacation for them. And it's like, no, I mean, we talked to a resident last night who she's staying there with her little kid. She's got pets. They're staying in a cramped hotel room for, weeks on end in some cases, and that's not going to be.
They're only giving us enough money for the hotel. It's not like we're banking. It's not like they're giving us $5,000 and we're only using $200 for the week. We're using all of that for the hotel, and it's inconvenient for us. We can't have home cooked meals. Right. We're eating out of the microwave and stuff, and like you said, we're all cramped up just trying to live and survive instead of this contaminated town.
Right. And to go back to what we were talking about before with the tracks, so for those of you who might not know this, when this happened initially to get the railroad back open as fast as possible, they did just bury a bunch of the contaminants literally under the tracks and built the tracks on top of it. Residents, when I was here last time a couple weeks ago, yourself included, were complaining about that, saying like, where is this going to go? This is going to seep down into the water. This is going to be here forever. This could be an issue down the line, but we're never going to know what's actually under there unless they dig it up. So right now what's going on is there are two kind of main train lines that run through town. Right now they've opened up, or they've tore up the tracks on one of them so that they can keep their one train line rolling, keep the money flowing in and out and out.
For the money, they're penny pinchers.
Yes,
that's what they are. And at night, if you actually stay here at night, they're like going through so fast. They only go slow during the day when people were hearing that, but they go like fast all through here, honking on the horns. And people around here, they're still scared. When they lay on that horns, we're asked, is it going to happen again? Is it going to be worse? And it's scary sometimes around here.
Yeah, and I mean, the last time I was here, it seemed too like the trains were going through potentially even more frequent than normal, just because they're playing catch up. They're sending through super long trains, double stacked shipping containers and whatnot.
Picking up all that and contaminated air and everything back into the air and the soil and everything. It's kicking it up. If you actually stay by the tracks, you could smell it every time they go by.
Yep.
Because they didn't clean it the right way.
Yep. I'm curious if you know anyone right now. So obviously the relocation is happening, and it's easier if you're in the actual like town of East Palestine this time. The boundaries and everything seem to be having changed a little bit. I know some people, if you're in the 1 mile, you get it. Some people are right on that line though, and depending on where you draw the line, you're in the area, you're out of the area. Have either you or if you have friends or family who've experienced having a hard time to get relocated the second time?
Yes, I have a lot of friends that are outside the 1 mile mark. I'm in the 1 mile, so I didn't have problems, but a lot of people, they're having it. Plus, they're saying lodging, gas, and food. They're telling some people it's not for gas. They're saying not for food because you should already be paying for food at your house, which ain't right. It's cheaper to get a whole meal for the week than it is trying to eat out of a microwave.
Right. And that's a big missing thing too, right? Because when you're saying like eat out of a microwave, like the hotels don't have a full kitchen in them for you to use. So you're either having to eat out for a lot of your meals, which if you're trying to do that on the cheap, it's unfortunately unhealthy. You're eating at McDonald's or something like that. And if you're eating out of a microwave, it's also not going to be good for you in most cases. You're eating ramen noodles or microwave, dinner or something like that. It's always going to cost more money when you're having to eat in that way versus going to the grocery store, like you're saying, buying things in bulk and actually being able to cook in your kitchen. There is an extra cost associated with that, and it sounds like your folks aren't being provided with enough money to be able to cover those additional costs.
It's not enough money for that, but also they keep changing their words for everyone. They need to have one set boundaries for everyone. They need to communicate for everyone. You're telling this person this, you're telling this person this, you're telling them no, but you're telling me yes.
Right.
It's not right. And it's getting a lot of us fighting. Not only are we tired, not only are we constantly have headaches, we're grumpy. We're living in this and trying to get help. So it's not, then you're having us fighting against each other because we're saying, oh yeah, you can do this, when they're saying no, and it's not right for us. They're trying to divide us. They've divided us since day one, from zip codes, from the mile marker, from states. And we're trying to, as a community, come together and try not to let that happen. But they're almost getting to that point. And we can't let that happen. We got to stick together because all of our leaders, they turned their backs on us. We have not gotten any help. And it wasn't for our fellow Americans sitting here and seeing us like this and donating our water and air filters and cleaning supplies. I don't know what this town would have happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. The fact that, again, we're relying on Norfolk Southern to be able to essentially say, yep, if you're in this area, we'll potentially provide relocation for this or that, because frankly, it's not safe in a lot of these areas. No. Frankly, you can still smell some of this stuff depending on where you are in town. We haven't been right over to the site yet. On this trip, we just got into town yesterday, but we're gonna head over there after this to go check it out and lay eyes on it.
We actually had a water tank explode over there, and that had the contaminated water and went through someone's yard. Yeah. On the dam, we had a bad rainstorm and the dam broke, and right over there where the park is. And that's another thing that kind of irritated everyone. DeWine came and talked to our schools, to our kids, without even letting the parents know. And later on that day, that's when he had that conference with the kids playing in the background. Yep. The media's been here off and on the whole time. Not one person's been in that park, and y'all know that. Yep. And for them to have that staged, thinking that we're back to normal, that really irritated me. You're supposed to be our leader.
No, absolutely. I mean, we were in that park my last day here. We checked that out, and I interviewed Bob Bocock, who's a water expert. He works with Aaron Brockovich's team, and he saw it for the first time when he got into town. It was with me. I took him to that park, and he was like, he immediately picked up the phone and was like, you got to get over here right now, calling Aaron Brockovich, saying, this is way worse than I thought. Seeing them spraying the water into the air, aerating the chemicals out. And then when we saw, the first flood happened, because that flooded over 2 times from what we saw, happened a couple days after we left. We got the video of it, and that area over there is right on the edge of where the municipal water supply essentially comes from.
That's where our water supply is, that plant. And they actually were having a tour the next day before and it didn't happen. The tour hasn't happened.
Right. And to your point too, I mean, the governor as well as a representative from the Ohio EPA were in that area just before, like days before the dam did overflow, saying, we know that the contamination is in the creek, but like everything else is fine. And then the creek overflows, and now the contamination's all over the park, and they got nothing to say about it then.
Yeah, we can't catch a break at all.
No. You mentioned the media. I guess how has the presence of the media in town changed since the last time we talked? Obviously, the last time we talked, there was a whole bunch of folks here.
Yes.
The McDonald's in town was kind of a spot where there was tons of media using the internet trying to get things uploaded. We went to the city council meeting last night. We were the only camera in the room. I'm curious, have you seen a big media presence? Are folks still reaching out? Has it died down?
Well, actually, ever since the DC one, just a couple of days ago, it has died down because they actually were like, hey, we know we did wrong. We're going to make it right. It's just a down payment and no strings attached. And it seemed like they were going to do what they were saying to do. So it kind of died down a little bit.
Right.
And I really want to appreciate Jamie and Chris Wallace for all that, and the River Valley organization for putting that together and making our voices heard so this can happen.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to sat down and been quiet, none of this.
Yep.
They would have got away with it. And I'm glad to say I really love Jamie for that.
Yeah, no, she's been doing a great job, and hopefully that the Senate hearing too that happened last week. I mean, there's a lot of talk at those sorts of things. Hopefully we see action as a result. Politicians are good at talking. It's another thing about will they actually follow through. I hope that they will. I'm not holding my breath, unfortunately, but hopefully if folks keep coming out, keep talking about this, it's going to be tough. You all are going to have to try to keep getting the message out.
If they keep up with what they say they're going to do, we don't have to keep getting the media. That's the only thing that we wanted.
Right.
We kept the media here to make sure that the stuff got done.
Right.
Now, if they don't get it done, I got your phone number. Yeah. I got CBS. I got it. We're going to call again.
You know, at the least that we'll be back for sure. You know that I'll
Scoop.
Yep. Well, is there anything else you want to share with folks about things that have been happening in the last couple of weeks since we've been here?
Actually, the River Valley organization. You can look us up on the website and on Twitter, Facebook, and all that. We're offering free soil and water testing. It doesn't matter if you're in East Palestine, Darlington, Negley, Unity, New Waterford. It doesn't matter. If you feel unsafe and you don't trust the results that they're doing, it's free on us. The organization is paying for it. Awesome. And I want to let everyone know, please, if you feel unsafe at all, contact us, and we are going to do that for you.
Awesome. We'll make sure we provide a link for folks where they can get access to that testing, too, with the video. Moo, great to see you again. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.